Welcome, welcome or welcome back. Hello, everyone. I think we're live. All right, so let's practice again shapes, colors, textures, highlights, shadows. You know the drill. We have the usual suspects on the palette: titanium white, cadmium red, cadmium yellow, cadmium red, and ultramarine blue. So the things I have in mind, I'm going to change a couple of things, to play with the primary colors and secondary colors. Right? So the orange bell pepper would be a green one, and then the plate will be orange, and we'll have violet for the background, and everything else doesn't change. So let's get started. As always, the big shapes. So let's do a light blue here. Maybe it's going to be a little bit duller, but that's fine for now. Next, the third big shape is the plate. Place the left side, the right side, the bottom, the top. And I can sketch the ellipse. Like so. Again, you don't have to paint exactly what you see. And there's always some artistic license. Okay. It's a matter of playing with the getting the composition right and the placement of the different elements. Like taking the just the good habits. All right. And I keep my composition simple so you can see better. The size, the placement. So like here it's right in the middle. The red, and then what's going to become the green. So I place the left side, the right side, the bottom, the top, that is above above the tablecloth. And because I know the colors I'm going to play with, I think I might as well sketch with the right colors. Also, that way I won't forget that the orange is going to be a green one. Left side, the right side, there's a little bit of plate here. Top. I rinse my brush because I want a just yellow. So the top here. Well, we're going to make it a little bit greenish, otherwise the yellow won't show. on the on the orange base color. So the left side cuts about in half the red one. Same thing on this side, and then the top right there. See, now you can see the top. So that's how I can see that the bed papers are in proportion. Okay. I mean, the red one is a little bit smaller. So the left side, the right side, and the lemon, the yellow in the background. I might lower that to have more room for the background. I could also lower a little bit the plate. I'll do that as I go. Anyhow, that's how we get the composition easily, if not quickly. I place the background on the table. The third big shape, the plate. The bottom here, left side, the right side. And here, it's centered. So it's easy to place the left side, the right side, the left side, the bottom, and the top. You do the same thing with the green one and the yellow. How hard can it be? I could do here, I could place here the shadow. All right, next, the big shapes. So this paint is purplish color, which is not always easy to get by mixing red and yellow. If you want a specific color or the purple you have in mind, you might need to buy the right color. So on your screen it might be black. Let's see if I can improve the color on the screen. It's a brownish on my screen. So I'm going to add more blue. There you go. That's a dark purple here. As always, I'm painting an abstract background to keep it simple. I'm not going to cover completely. I want to show the base color orange showing through and between my strokes. It makes the background more interesting. So these first steps, the background, the table, or the tablecloth, allows you to play with the paint more than trying to get the exact colors. The process, again, the process matters more than the finished product. Understanding how you control the paint so you can get the colors you want, the textures, the contrast. This matters more than the detailed or realistic painting. So that's better. Okay, it's a nice violet here. And I like that I can see the yellow base color showing through. So I did a little bit of white, make it lighter. And then let's add this white, lighter purple here. So I like what I get here. I hope the magic works for you as well. I keep everything loose. So you can replicate what I'm doing and not being stressed about getting the colors right. There's so much to learn, so keep it simple. Right? And again, from there, you can make it more realistic, more detailed if you want. All right, I'm going to rinse my brush and paint this blue tablecloth. Soviet blue on the reference photo would be more like a like a cerulean blue, which you can get if you want to be making more have a better blue. But here I'm just going to use a light ultramarine blue. Same thing here. Although I won't make it as abstract as the background. I want to keep this soft texture of the tablecloth. So I won't paint in different directions. So try to paint with a big brush so you won't be tempted to paint the details. And also try to paint as many elements as possible with just one brush. It's a good practice to control the strokes. And to keep everything loose, not to mention that it's less brushes to wash. Right, so that's a good contrast. It's dark enough and it's lighter and lighter. Now I'm going to paint the shadow. So barely any white. I don't want ultramarine blue straight from the tube, but I don't want it to be so. I don't want it like to be too dark. That's why I'm using white. And I want a nice shade. So this shade is about the same as the one on this side. the shadow, the plate and the fruits. Now I'm going to rinse my brush and paint the plate. Do you remember which color is it going to be? And that we're playing with the primary colors and the secondary colors. All right, let's see. I hope I'm not going to have any technical issue like last time when the streaming stopped. Let me double check that. Okay, I think we're still good. All right. All right, it looks like the live stream is slowing down. I hope you can still see something. Leave a comment, please, if you're still seeing me painting. Hi. So next, the plate is going to be orange. So I paint it dark orange. So it might look red on your screen, also because the yellow base color shows through my layer of orange. Right? So my orange being, I'm going to make my orange lighter, less red, more yellow, to have a better orange here. So I can make it even lighter, more yellow, more white, because this side is closer to the light source, so it's lighter. I need to make the bottom, the base of the plate, a darker orange. More red. So I hope you're still using the same brush and that you enjoy it, because I do. So that's the bottom. So here, the orange is not opaque enough to cover the blue, but that's fine. It's going to keep the edge loose and abstractish, so that's even better. I'm going to let this dry, the orange dry, before I can paint a lighter rim. Okay. In the meantime, let's move on to the red bell pepper. Okay. So, light red, Let's really see what I get straight from the tube. Okay, I like that. That's a bright red. And then I would add a little bit of white to make it slightly lighter when I paint the reflections. For now, I'm just going to cover the whole shape. Red. It's working. Like so, and then let's paint a lighter the reflection. So it's not white. I'm going to add yellow to make this like a dark orange. That's the reflection. Too much yellow. Let's get rid of that. And then the reflections on the top. Now how to give more dimension to this shape, right? So let's make a dark red. So we're going to need brown. Remember how you make brown? You mix yellow and blue, you get green, and you add red to your green, and you get a dark brown. So it's going to be almost perfect for my the shadow. Almost, because it's too dark. So add more red to make this brown slightly lighter. At any time, of course, feel free to switch to a smaller or bigger brush. So far, I'm doing well with the same brush. Maybe a little bit tricky when I paint smaller shapes, but so far so good. I'm able to give some the shape and the dimension to the bell paper, so I'm going to keep using the same brush. So you see how the shadows of the the dark areas give dimension to this red shape. Right. I'm going to let it dry before painting the lighter parts and the reflections to make it even better. All right. So do you remember which color is this one going to be? Green. I'm glad some of you are following. So same thing than with the blue. You might not get the green you want by mixing ultramarine blue and cad yellow. Right? In this case, you need to buy the green you want. But tonight, as long as it's green, I'll be okay. So I'm going to make the highlights on the green much lighter. That's why I'm not painting this part and this side. I have a dark green on my brush, so I'm going to paint the shadows. Maybe I should have done that with the red. So just by painting the shadows, I have more dimension. So trust the process, and because of that, I don't expect you to paint exactly my way. You can take shortcuts or find your own way of painting this shape. And to do that, you need to understand how you can control the paint. So there's too much yellow here. I'm going to play with blue and yellow. Until I get a green shade that works. Alright, and then I'm going to let this dry a little bit. Don't worry about the stem or the stems. We're going to paint that last. So on the second pass, colors are better. Because you control better the mixing, the blending. All right, let this dry. Also, I keep telling students to take a picture of the work in progress so you remember how you started, the changes you made, what happened, what went well, what went wrong. Okay. So let's go back to the plate that needs a rim to give more dimension. So I'm adding white to my cad yellow, and it's going to make a light orange. let's finish this side. Could be more white, I think. Let's use more white. And then let's finish this little corner here. Alright, and since I have yellow, guess what we're going to paint next? The third one, so in the background. So I lowered it by painting the background more. I think it's still, the size is still good. So this time I'm going to paint the light first, because I want to keep this yellow very bright. And it's not just a, there's a lot of green. So I'm going to paint a light yellow, probably all over actually. To keep it bright, and then paint the shadows greenish. So I'm doing the opposite of what I did for the green, right? I painted the shadows first. So here I'm doing the opposite because I want to keep this yellow very bright. All right, the green is next to my my light yellow. So let's paint it too dark. So let's use more yellow, a little bit of white. It's not a perfect green, but it reads as a yellow bell pepper, so that's all that matters. All right, I was looking at the the live stream on YouTube. It's slow. Technology and I aren't always friends. It is what it is. Okay. So I painted the shadows. Make this a little bit darker. I want to show that the plate is not flat. So that's the shadow. I'm going to hide the bottom behind the rim. So now I have everything, and I'm going to refine the bell papers. Let's make this frame a little bit more brighter, present. It's going to make everything stand out. All right, so back to the red one. It needs to be lighter. So I'm going back with more yellow, less red. Maybe a little bit of white. You don't need orange or light orange, nor pink. So I think that works just fine. More white, more yellow. Here you have the reflection of the plate. So it's white, that's why it's like pinkish, but because here it's orange, it's going to be kind of reddish. Now the top has more pink now. Not pink like a rose, but lighter than the red. So I'm working on that. It's too pink. More red. More pink. And once I add the white reflections on top of that pink, that's how I'm going to give more dimension to the top. And of course the stem will help as well. All right, let's adjust this side. Cover the rim. Right, now I can paint the reflections. And again, that's enough. Right? To me, it reads as a red bell paper. If it does for you, it works. You don't need to paint more details until you're done with the other ones, the whole composition, the plate, the tablecloth, the background. Right. Take a deep breath, don't overthink, don't bang your head on a wall because it's not exactly the picture. Right. What matters is that you control the paint the best you can at this point. All right, let's move on to the green one. The green one is pretty good. It needs a second pass to make it probably darker. I want the shadows to be darker. And I want a nice bell pepper, so I paint the shadows darker. So I'll redo the same thing, the second pass, just make it darker. And then the reflections will be a mix of white and more yellow as well. So I start with the white or light green for the brightness. Or I should say to place the highlights, and then I'll paint the yellow. To make this pop. Right. More yellow to my green. Too much yellow. More yellow. Lighter green, lighter green. Now let's paint the reflections like I did on the red one. This side. That's good. And then now let's work on the yellow one. So I want to find the right shade of green. So it's not just I want a nice yellow. I don't want it too green. So of course, in this case, you probably need a lemon yellow. You'll have beautiful bright yellow. And for the green, maybe you go with a maybe a sap green. You'll have a better green. All right. So let's make it more yellow. Or brighter, I should say. So I'm going to add more white to my yellow. Do another pass. All right, now let's paint the reflections with white only. I rinse my brush. place a few white dots. Side, the front, the left. Lighter here. And now I just need to paint the reflections, the the stems. All right, so here it's gonna be hard to get this bright green for the stem on the yellow one. So let's find the shade of green that works. If you wanted the same green, you need to buy a different green. But here it's okay. I still see it as a can still see the stem, so just gonna make this darker so it stands out. You can see better that it's the stem. So that's what you can do. You don't need to run to the store, buy the right green. That's what you can do. All right, now also, to make this stem stand out, I decided to make this one taller. Okay, it's going to go over the background. So, let's make it taller, like so. Dark green on this side. So as you can see, all this time I've been painting with the same brush. So there'll be less cleaning, and I'm showing you that you can control blending, mixing, small shapes, textures, shadows, highlights. I need to pin this over the stem. Bothers me a little bit here. And now the green one. So it's very dark green. But before I do that, artistic license, right? Because I want the stem to stand out. I'm going to paint the background lighter. You want to make sure you want to paint it like it's a natural texture. If it's a curtain, you don't want to paint like you painted that on purpose. It's part of the background. It's still abstract, but it helps making the stem stand out. back to the stem. The lighter green, more yellow, a little bit of white. Too much yellow. And there's my stem. It's white. And guess what? This time I'm gonna call it done. So sorry, there won't be another video tomorrow to show you the finished process. I think I like what I did tonight, so a few strokes here and there, and then I will call it done. Woohoo! Like this. See, I use the tip on my brush to paint small lines. So painting loose doesn't mean that you paint fast, right? It's really about the strokes, placing the right strokes in the right spot. That's what I'm doing here to give dimension to the elements. That's what makes a painting loose. Darker, 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 darker. Oh, and I need to make this edge stand out. So I'm going back to my green with a little bit of white, one pinch of yellow. So see better the edge of the hole. That's better, I think. All right, one last thing that could be better for me is foreground here. I want it a little bit more clean. So I can hide the wrong strokes. So it makes it brighter. And lastly, let's straighten the tablecloth here just a little bit. I know it's abstract. I mean, it's loose, but it always bothers me when it's not like straight enough. All right, well, I'm going to call it done. I hope you learned something, you enjoyed the process. As always, share with me your painting. Right? And you will see the finished painting later tonight or tomorrow on our Facebook group. I will post the link in the first comment. Right, and now I'm going to sign it. I'm taking one last look to everything to make sure I have the right dimensions, the shadows, the highlights. You can read them as bell papers. I think the plate looks nice next to the blue and the background. I like the background. It's better than last time. I can read it like a curtain of some sort. So let's sign it. Sorry, I had to use a smaller brush. That's the only thing I'm not able to do with the big guy signature. Well, I'm done. Again, thank you for your support. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday.